Hello, this is Danny Raymond, the voice behind Ray's Guide. Welcome to Day 2 of Invictus Launch Week, and today my ship of the day, as promised yesterday, is going to be the huge Polaris dominating the show floor. The show began with what was described as the last chance offer to get the Polaris at its current price. Ships often get a price jump when they become playable in the game. We last saw this kind of last chance offer with the Hull C. Ships do have a price increase when they become available in-game, and when the base price is already $750, you can expect the flyable price to be at least in the 900s. But if you are thinking about clicking that $750 offer with your credit card, stop. Don't. There is a special $700 war bond upgrade with fresh money. So buy a Pulse at $25 war bond. That gets you $30 credit on the war bond upgrade to the Polaris, so you are getting a net $695, not $750. So do that, right? No, hold your horses there, cowboy. I would consider it better than average chances that there be at least some sort of war bond upgrade offer on the Retaliator lineup with the new modules, and I would consider it almost certain that there will be a war bond upgrade available on the Sabre Firebird. And then yesterday at Star Citizen Live, Jared informed us that there would be a new ship announcement on Drake Day, which would very much likely include yet another war bond upgrade. So by the end of this, you might have as many 3 or 4 war bond upgrades to apply in a chain before that final upgrade to the Polaris. And all that is just in this show. There are people who have been patiently collecting a chain of war bond upgrades for years with the goal of eventually being able to get that final war bond upgrade to an awe-inspiring warship. If that's you, then let me just pause for a moment and say, congratulations. You've reached a goal, even if others are going to call it paying to win. Which of course they will, and well, you certainly did pay for something, even if it wasn't full retail, and what you paid for certainly, I hope, feels like a win, since I doubt you would have paid money for it if it felt like losing, because there are so many ways of doing that for free. But the nice thing about open world games is that you get to decide for yourself what winning feels like. Speaking personally, I plan on learning everything I can about how to make this big ship sail, and thus be able to obtain a berth as an engineer whenever I wish. Yes, the ship still needs to be paid for, but it will be paid for by somebody else. And for someone who was raised by a family of natural cheapskates, that feels like winning. So, CCU chain notwithstanding, I won't be taking advantage of the offer, except possibly to be next in the line of the Grow the Channel ship giveaways. Except that we already have 2 of them going, CitizenCon travel expenses are looming, and, well, I would have to come up with a 5-word alliteration describing the Polaris first. Today in the hall, though, we can walk around the outside, and I suspect that what they still have to do before being fully ready for us is handling the usual places of accidental zero gravity, no air, and falling through the floor. We did, however, get an inside Star Citizen titled Finding the North Star when the ship was in white box. So let's try to connect what we see on the outside now with what they showed us back then. The Polaris is a 2-deck ship despite its huge size. The main armament on the Polaris is a set of 4 size 10 tubes with a total supply of 28 torpedoes. You can see the 4 tube covers on each side of the bridge. And yes, let's all say it together. Holy crap, those are huge. The experience of being on the bridge when those are fired right next to you is going to be huge and will certainly make maximum use of what CIG has been developing with sound placement and resonances and reverberations. Being on the bridge of a Polaris when the torpedo is being fired is going to be one of those things you're likely going to want to be on your Star Citizen checklist, even if you never want to own the ship. There are racks of smaller missiles placed even closer to the bridge on each side. The Matrix of Deceit shows these as being 16 size 3 missiles. Now, the gunnery on the Matrix of Deceit shows a total of 6 turrets, 2 of which have 4 size 5 weapons, 2 with 2 size 5 weapons, and 2 with 2 size 4 weapons. All I can say is, well, it looks like the ship Matrix is living up to its reputation. I don't know what is in that chin turret, but those are not size 5 guns. They look like they were stolen from an Ares Ion. Now, it is unclear where the crew enters the ship. The diagram shows a crew lift aft of the cockpit on the side, but I cannot see an obvious panel for it. This could be just because it has a well-fitting cover panel when it is closed. On the lower floor behind the torpedo bay is the cargo bay, and the Polaris is unique in having a side cargo ramp. Most large ships either have a huge cargo lift or a rear or front ramp. And considering how high it is from the deck, I'm guessing that ramp is going to be really long and or really steep. I suspect that a lot of your cargo operations with the Polaris will be via tractor beam. The military character of the Polaris is accentuated by the fact that, except for the bridge, there are very few viewports in evidence. There's a small circular docking port on the port side, but it is well hidden from the floor. From above, you can see some of the more normal-sized man turrets, but the big feature on the top side is this huge panel that covers the main hangar. The main hangar has always been portrayed as having a liftable floor that brings ships up to the upper deck, and I have no reason to think that this will not still be the case. The hangar is intended for one full footprint fighter like an Avenger, C-7 or F-8 or Comet, whatever, but I suspect that many have visions of close packing a great many Auroras or Merlins or Furies in there. Whether or not that will be considered wise will likely depend on the extent to which manual refueling on a flight deck gets implemented. You aren't going to want to have your huge Polaris's operational range limited by the effective range of a Fury or Merlin, and you aren't going to want to have your whole operation wait while you take each one at a time out to the Starfarer for refueling. We won't really know until we have the final version for testing, but depending on fit, I am expecting it to be popular to use a pair of ships in the hangar. One a shuttle like a Pisces or Argo, and the other a compact fighter like the Gladius. But here is the thought that should make everyone excited. By the end of the year, we are going to have our first players versus players cap ship battles with these huge multi-crew monsters as the king piece on each side. There I go with the chessboard analogies again, but I can't help to feel like I've won just to be a part of that, even if I'm sitting in a turret or flying cover in an arrow. They pay, we win. Hard to complain about that. Now for an update on our giveaways, we still have our special membership to help cover travel costs, to have the channel give live CitizenCon coverage with its own giveaway for Hull C. Yes, and I will be giving away the Colossal Cargo Container Carrying Craft even if our live CitizenCon coverage has to be remote, plus a regular Grow the Channel giveaways. The first one for the lucky player, some Zippy Zazzy Zaptig Zephyr, the Zeus 2 Cargo, and the marvelous multi-role, multiplayer mining meta, the Arasta. One entry per video, just be a member for automatic entry, or subscribe and comment with the secret word. And the secret word for this video is your own 4 or 5 word alliteration for describing the Polaris. Fly safe, keep it real, and I'll see you in the verse. This is Daniel Raymond for Ray's Guide.